Hello, welcome back, folks. Now, it's the last Fighting on Film review of 2025. But before we take our short Christmas break, I want you all to close your eyes and think back a mere 27 years. Just 14 days before Saving Private Ryan would reinvigorate the Western war movie. Joe Dante's family film would premiere on July 10th, 1998, and a young Matt Moss and Robbie Maguire would have their brains forever turned on to the military-industrial complex. It is, of course, Small Soldiers.
I can feel the atmosphere in the cinema now as I sat and watched this when I was 8 years old.
Ooh, lucky bugger. I rented it, I think. I had it on rental, if I remember right. Or might have even had a pirate copy. I can't quite remember.
Oh my word.
I know, yeah. Well, we don't condone pirating movies on the show, of course.
No piracy for us. But,
no pirate, yar, matey. Right, so before we get on to Hypnosis, cast, production, all that good stuff, we have the Wild Geese box set winner to announce, and it was Dave Bowen.
Congratulations.
Big congratulations. Whose winning caption on the picture of Whitty was, "As you can see, sir, I'm standing to attention." That made me and Matt chuckle quite a bit. So well done, Dave. You've won. Contact us or look out for a FOF PM in your DMs. We'll get your information from you and then we'll get that box set to you. Hope you've got a 4K player for it. But if not, you can still read. Tony's book.
Tony's book,
you?
Yeah. Which is a cracker. I've finished it now and it's excellent.
Yeah, I mean, you've still got time to ask the significant other for a 4K player. So
yeah.
Who doesn't want Burton and the gang smashing through the letterbox at Christmas time? Oh, right. So, Hypnosis of Small Soldiers. When a young boy's military toys are activated by a microchip, they start behaving like actual soldiers and start hunting down their rivals, creating havoc in the neighborhood.
Havoc in the neighborhood. It's such a 90s premise.
It really, really is. Yeah.
It's that's pretty good actually. I mean, there's a lot more to it, but I was on rewatch of this, I was quite surprised by how nuanced the whole film actually is. I was quite taken aback at times. It's actually quite prescient.
It is. It's a lot. It really is. It's aged incredibly well. And more on that later because I've got a little bit of a reference corner for everybody. And more in the alley tally. But Matt, you're on cast, and it's quite a lot of people in this one. So
strap in. We're going to be here for at least 42 and a half minutes.
Oh, no, we're not. No, I'm sure Matt rounded them up. I'm sure he has.
Yeah, indeed. This cast is considerable. We have a live action cast and a voice cast. And they all have done really interesting things. So it could be lengthy, but what I've done is I've tried to keep it succinct. Some people I will just rattle through their credits. Others I will try and point out some of the really interesting links. So, the cast is led by Gregory Smith, who plays Alan, the boy, in the aforementioned synopsis.
Alan, you have to help me, Alan. Alan.
Many Gorgonite impressions will be done, I'm sure. So he befriends Archer and the Gorgonites. He later appeared in The Patriots with Mel Gibson and has done a lot of TV work. He's one of the two kids at the beginning. Well, throughout the whole film, but he's one of his sons.
I remember now.
A lot of TV work, a lot of directing. The Alan character was going to be played by Joseph Mazzello, who was Tim in Jurassic Park. Another 90s smash.
Classic.
Yeah, so they definitely had a particular type of 90s boy in mind for this, didn't they? Mm-hmm. I get big John Connor vibes.
Yeah, I forget the kids. I forget the actor's name. But yes, it does. It's the curtains. It's the 90s curtains.
It is. It truly is. The amount of product he has at the end, when he's letting the Gorgonites go in the bow, the amount of gel in his fringe is huge.
Oh, God, yeah.
Anyway, so, I'm two people in and we're already getting tangential.
It's the last one before Christmas. We're allowed.
Yes. Kirsten Dunst as Christy Thimple. You'll know her from films such as Jumanji, 1995, and Civil War, 2025, or 2022, actually. We've got Jay Moore, who's a comedian, SNL alumni. He plays one of the Heartland Toy Company executives who
Yep.
develops the Commando Elite, while his colleague Erwin Wayfair, played by David Cross, another comedian, best known perhaps for Arrested Development, plays another toy developer at the company, which is taken over by the
Globotech.
Globotech Military Industrial Company, which we'll talk about more in a moment. Um, so they both played developers, and they both kind of develop. Cross's character develops the Gorgonites. Moore's character develops the Commando Elite. We got Philip Hartman as Phil Fimple. He's the father of Christy, and he's obsessed with technology. He's clearly a yuppie. Best known as the voice of many characters on The Simpsons, including Troy McClure. Also
SNL
appeared
stalwart as well. Yeah.
SNL stalwart as well in the 80s, and he also appeared in Sergeant Bilko opposite Steve Martin in the 90s.
Yep.
We have Kevin Dunn as Stuart Abernathy, Alan's father, and he owns the toy store. He appeared in straight roles in films like Mississippi Burning. He also appeared in lots of comedies in the 90s, Hot Shots, The Second Civil War, Veep more recently. Anne Magnuson plays Alan's mother, Irene. She was in Clear and Present Danger, Tank Girl, The Man in the High Castle, Star Trek Picard in 2022.
Yeah.
Lots of interesting
It's the
roles
quintessential 90s
from
mum and
her.
dad, aren't they?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
totally are.
Mm.
We got Dennis Leary playing Gil Mars. Mars, of course, being Latin for war, the god of war.
Mm-hmm.
Nice little nod there to him being the CEO of Globotech, the
It's
military
cool.
industrial company. Leary appeared in Demolition Man 1993, Operation Dumbo Drop 1995, The Second Civil War, which is, of course, also a Joe Dante film produced for HBO. Ice Age films is perhaps what he's best known for now, providing some of the voice roles for that. Apparently, Kevin Bacon, Patrick Swayze, Tim Allen, and Jeff Goldblum were all considered for the Gil
Oh,
Mars role.
okay. Yeah, I'm kind of glad that it isn't a big name. I'm going to say like later on. I'll say it now. Even I think one of the biggest saving graces of this movie is that all the named talent are the small soldiers. Like it flipped it. Like you could have gone big for the cast of the human characters, but they didn't. I like how they, they went with talented character actors, and I think it just works much better.
Yeah, well, they're all recognizable 90s faces as well, aren't
Yeah,
they?
of course. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Even
yeah.
even most of them now are, still active
Mm,
and
mm.
recognizable. We got Dick Miller, who plays Joe, the lovable delivery truck driver. I recognize him from that DS9 two-parter where they go back to the 1990s.
That's it, mate.
And
Yeah,
he's the kind of like local cop, kind
yep.
of
But he's
putting vagrants into the ghetto, I guess.
yeah, that's it. He's a massive, long time Joe Dante collaborator before his death in 2019. He was in every single one of his films and
Yeah,
TV
he
shows.
was. He was. I was going to say that. Interestingly, he was also an extra in The Dirty Dozen. So he's the I think sixth or seventh actor that was in
Oh,
The Dirty
wow, I didn't
Dozen.
even realize.
Yeah,
Wow.
we'll come on more to that link at the end. But yeah, so I
Yeah.
came across that in his credits. He has it. So he had this amazing spell of about 30 years as a supporting actor, character
Yeah, he's
actor.
like proper everyman guy, Dick
And then
Miller.
in the
Brilliant.
90s, he kind of fell into these roles, partially through working with Joe. He kind of fell into these roles where he becomes the lovable working man character.
Mm-hmm.
All the chap, kind of like in this, he's like he makes a really, there's one of my favorite bits of the film is he makes a really funny joke about globalization and microbreweries. And I was like, oh, that's great writing. That's
Yeah,
great.
it's so sharp. Yeah.
Yeah, so he also appeared in Vigilante Force, which is a vetsploitation picture, which I've been on a kick with over the last few
Matt
months.
literally put in the chat, the WhatsApp chat. He was like, "Exploitation movies will be watched until morale improves, Robbie." And I was like, "Morale's already sky high. I'll just enjoy them."
Yeah, so he appeared in that opposite Chris Christopherson. So it's an interesting one. He was an extra in that. He was Officer Miller in 1941. A nice connection to our recent recording with Tony Cowards, friend of the show. The Second Civil War, Joe Dante, obviously. And then he was also in an episode of The Next Generation, Star Trek. and as the aforementioned two-parter of DS9.
There's a hell of a lot of links to things Robbie and Matt love this week. A hell of
There
a
is.
lot.
There is. We got Wendy Shaw as Marion, the mother of Christy. She's perhaps now best known as the voice of Fran Smith from American Dad.
Oh, God, yes!
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, my God! Now I hear... Oh, wow. Sorry.
And then finally, rounding out the live action cast, we've got Robert Picardo, best known to us at least as the Doctor from Star Trek Voyager, and he plays Ralph Quist, a bristly technician who designs an AI chip for the DoD, but it isn't shielded enough from EMPs for it to be utilized in the role that the DoD wants, so it's surplus, and it somehow finds its way into the Commando Elite and the Gorgonites.
Yeah. I'm a doctor, not an arms technician.
Right. And this cameo was filmed in the break between filming seasons 4 and 5 of not DS9, Voyager, I should say, Voyager.
So the height of Voyager, essentially.
Yeah, so when Voyager starts getting really good, yeah. Robbie's not quite there yet.
I'm working through it.
You're getting there.
I was cold to it initially, but now I'm warming to them.
Now, onto the voice cast. So what we've got next is we have the Gorgonites, which is essentially Spinal Tap with special guest Frank Langella. And
yes.
He plays Archer. He's the emissary of the Gorgonites.
Cutting, sorry, very poignant because obviously Rob Reiner passed away at the weekend. So pay our respects to him. What an absolute hero of the game. We'll be sorely missed. But yeah, what a weird coincidence.
Yeah, no, totally. I know him for Cutthroat Island, which everyone says is the worst flop of Hollywood history, but I quite enjoyed it as a kid. Yeah. I think that was the point, Frost Nixon, of course, and 3 episodes of Star Trek DS9 as a Bajoran emissary.
Well, Frank Langella. Oh, of course, yeah.
Minister. Bajoran minister. But then we've got Christopher Guest, or should I say Christopher Hayden Guest, the 5th Baron Hayden Guest.
That confused me.
He is Scratchit and Slamfist, so he plays 2 Gorgonites, and he's best known as, again, another SNL stalwart, Death Wish, A Few Good Men, A Night at the Museum too, and also working as a director, and of course being in Spinal Tap. Michael McKean, again, he plays Insaniac and the Freakenstein Gorgonite, who's the navigator. We don't get a lot of the Gorgonites. I feel like they introduce them and then they never really do anything with the Gorgonites.
No one wants a Gorgonite, Matt. Everyone wants to come under Elite. That's like,
when you read them, I'm like, oh, is that what that one was called? Like, there's no I can't link the character names. Anyway.
I like the one with the big boulder arm. I like him.
Yes.
I had one of him when I had
Slam
one of the toilet. I had Slamfist when I was younger. Yeah, like he used to go, Ellen. No, he didn't, but I wish he had done.
Robbie just loves doing the Gorgonite Alan voice.
Slamfist voice is amazing.
Yeah, the Slamfist voice.
We need to hide. Sorry.
He appeared in 1941, SNL, tons of comedies and straight roles. He appeared in 1 episode of Star Trek Voyager, 4 episodes of The X-Files as Morris Fletcher, which is an incredible turn, really great character in X-Files. And he recently played the president in the series The Diplomat a couple of years ago.
Oh, yeah. Well, they all came back for This Is Spinal Tap, which was the remake of Spinal Tap sequel, which was Rob Reiner's last movie. So it's all.
They did indeed.
It's weird.
Including Harry Shearer, who played Punchit. He's the advisor of Archer, who is friends with Scratchit, while serving as occasional mode of transport. What an interesting way of describing that. In the Wikipedia article I pulled the cast list from.
The Small Soldier's Law runs deep.
Yeah. Just to let everyone know, I often pull the actual cast list from either IMDb or Wikipedia, but then I go and do my own research into all the films they've been in.
Yeah. It takes me about a few days to put these together.
It does. It's ridiculous.
That anyway.
Again, famous for being in SNL, The Simpsons, perhaps,
Mr.
Spinal
Burns.
Tap. Yeah, exactly. Countless comedies over the years. Very recognizable voice. Now, finally, we're on to the Commando Elite, or as I phrased it, the Dirty Dozen minus half of the dozen plus Tommy Lee Jones. We
And
got
Bruce
Tommy Lee
Dern.
Jones plus Bruce Dern. Yeah.
Plus Bruce Dern. Yeah.
We got Tommy Lee Jones playing Major Chip Hazard. He is chewing his way out of the recording booth in this film. It's incredible.
Yeah, but it's
More on that
so
later.
good.
So good. Rolling Thunder, which if you've been listening to our War Movie Adjacent series over on Patreon, you'll know all about our love for Rolling Thunder and his amazing but oh so brief appearance in that film in 1977.
The show of late has become a shadow Tommy Lee Jones fan cast. We just love the guy.
2025 was really the year of Tommy Lee Jones on
It
Fight on
was
Film.
TLJ 25. It really was.
The Package 1989, Firebirds 1990, JFK 91, The Fugitive 93, US Marshals 98, Rules of Engagement 2000, Space Cowboys in the same year, No Country for Old Men, Lincoln, Emperor, Tommy Lee Jones, everybody. Just gotta love him.
A class act.
Class act. And Under Siege, of course, as well, in like 93. Jim Brown, who appears as Butch Meathook, the sniper. He appeared in Rio Conchos, The Dirty Dozen, Ice Station Zebra, El Condor, episodes of the A-Teams, and of course that great turn he had in Mars Attacks as well.
Mm-hmm.
Ernest Borgnine returns as Kip Killigan, the assassinating covert operations expert. Of course, everyone thinks of Ernest Borgnine as one of those.
Oh, yes. See, I think the brick... just quickly just cutting in. I think the Brick Bazooka figure looks more like Borgnine than the Kip Killigan one.
I think you're right.
I think maybe they switched it.
I mean, of course, Borgnine wasn't even in the dozen. He was the general that commissioned the dozen.
Yeah, but it still counts, doesn't it? Yeah.
Still counts.
Yeah.
He appeared in such war films as From Here to Eternity, Veracruz, The Last Command, Torpedo Run, The Dirty Dozen, of course, Ice Station Zebra, The Wild Bunch, All Quiet on the Western Front, the 70s version, Codename Wild Geese, and Skeleton Coast as well. Codename Wild Geese, of course, we've covered on one of the Mercenary months that we did a couple of years ago. An incredible sequence of Borgnine topless in bed. It was a standout point of that film.
Thank God, not in this one. Maybe that wouldn't have been good.
Then we've got George Kennedy as Brick Bazooka, the artillery and ammunition expert. Again, he appeared in Harm's Way, 1965, The Guns of the Magnificent Seven, Delta Force, Hired to Kill, a Merc film which looks incredible. I sent Robbie the trailer for that earlier. It has Oliver Reed and a cast of 90s scorches that have to become commandos to.
That's the best way of putting that. I haven't seen that trailer.
Entrap Oliver Reed as a despot,
it looks
Batavian
brilliant.
country somewhere. Naked Gun movies, obviously that's where I know him best from, and he's amazing as a straight man in those. Clint Walker as Nick Nitro, the demolitions expert. He has a great role in this. I think all the Nick Nitro scenes are really fun.
They're really cool, yeah.
And he leads to the eternal line from Chip Hazard where he goes, "Bring me the head of Nick Nitro," which is great.
Bring me the head of Nick Nitro, yeah.
None But the Brave, 1965, Panchavir, 1972, and an absolute ton of westerns, as well as, of course, the Dirty Dozen. Of course, as well, of course, as the Dirty Dozen. Bruce Dern, not from the Dirty Dozen, but definitely someone with a pedigree for war movies. He's the comms expert, Link Static of the Commando Elite. The War Wagon.
Double your rations, Link. Sorry. Great.
The War Wagon, Castle Keep, Black Sunday with Robert Shaw, which Robbie and I have talked about recently. Down Periscope, 12 O'Clock High, the TV show, not the film. So excluding Tommy Lee Jones and Dern, the Commando Elite are all voiced by members of the cast of the 1967 classic The Dirty Dozen. Dern replaced Richard Jekyll. He died just as filming began, which is a real shame. And sadly, Charles Bronson declined to lend his voice to any of the soldiers, which is a real shame because I think that would have been great. It would have been like, "This ain't over."
Hey, kid. Where's them Gorgonites, kid?
Hey, Gorgonite. Gorgonite scum.
Yeah, I wonder why not. Because Donald Sutherland either, so that must be scheduling, surely.
Yeah, I think so. And probably funding and stuff. Or Telly Savalas. I think he died by that point,
Might
though, I'm
be dead by
afraid.
that point. Yeah.
I think he might have died in the early
Mm.
90s or late 80s.
Well, the original
Um,
line, I don't know if you've got it in your notes, but the original line is that Joe Dante originally approached the cast of the Predator, like the Commandos and Arnie and all that, to do it, and then they just weren't available, so he went with the Dirty Dozen.
yeah. Oh, Telly died just the year before, 94.
Oh, okay, that's a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Um, yes, that's right. You wanted to cast a Predator. That would have been really interesting, actually. The IMDb page suggests that Schwarzenegger would have, of course, been Chip Hazard. Shane Black would have been Kip Killigan. Carl Weathers would have been Butch Meathook.
Yeah, you can
Jesse
see it,
Ventura would have been Brick
hear it
Bazooka.
even.
Yeah, Sonny Landon would have been Nick Nitro, and Bill Duke would have been Link Static. Which I
Mm.
can see all that. I can see all that definitely. And then
The-
finally, Rob, just to round out the
Thank
cast,
God.
the Gwendy dolls were voiced by 90s up and comers Sarah Michelle Gellar, perhaps best known for Buffy, and
Mhm.
of course Christina Ricci. They
Yeah,
were the Gwendy girls, and they have some brilliant lines.
they do more on that later. They really
Yeah,
do. Yeah. So no, thanks for that, Matt. That was a cavalcade of cast this week.
certainly
A
was.
big one. But what a cast it is. More on those later because the casting Tommy Lee Jones in this was a masterstroke in my opinion. But
Oh, what
more
a
on him
coup!
later. What a coup, yeah. So we're on to production. So this one, as you may have heard, directed by Joe Dante, best known for Gremlins, The Burbs, Gremlins 2, The Bad Batch, Matinee, Looney Tunes Back in Action. All those movies are fantastic. I'll have no Joe Dante bashing on this show. I think he's one of the best directors of his generation. I don't care who knows it.
Hell of a generation as well.
Hell of a generation, yeah. When hired to direct Small Soldiers, he was initially told to make an edgy teen film, but it was scaled back after Burger King became a tie-in sponsor, and the project was toned down to what he called a kiddie movie. However, that came very late into shooting, and
Joe,
much
you
of that,
gotta tone it down. They're putting the small soldiers on the Whopper. You gotta tone it down,
yeah, come
Tony.
on, they're killing it. They're burning it, everyone. And so that much of that earlier tone remains. Because it was so late into production, they couldn't cut it. But I think there's a few explosions and sort of deaths of the little figures at the end that was cut. But
Yeah.
I haven't got. Unfortunately, don't have this one on Blu-ray, and I really should. But I'd love to know if there's some
We need
deleted
that
scenes.
Whopper money, Joe. You
I
gotta
couldn't
tone
find
it
any.
down.
Well, you talk about Whoppers. There's a fantastic advert for the tie-in with Rodeo Burger in America, where it's Chip Hazard who
Two
in
burger
the
chains tying with one
yeah
film. Good
yeah.
lord.
So um so
No
in
exclusivity deals were signed
for,
at making this film, were they?
so in the Small Soldiers Law, a lot of that advertising work when you see a CGI Chip Hazard, it's actually voiced by Jim Cummings, who voiced
Okay.
Winnie the Pooh.
Ah.
And the Rodeo Burger ad is a really good riff of oh, what's that film?
Oh,
You can't
Christopher
handle
Robin,
the truth. What's that?
we need to kill the Gorgonites.
What's the one that goes? You can't handle the truth.
You
It's that.
oh rules of engagement. No, a few good men.
Few Good Men or
Yeah,
whatever it is. Yeah, and it's like a you can't handle
courtroom.
the grill or
Yeah,
something. It's quite funny. Anyway, back to
that's
production.
Jack Nicholson, isn't it? That says that
Yeah,
to
that's it.
Tom Cruise. Yeah,
Yeah. So it's written by, according to
Matt remembers
IMDb,
films.
We all just what we do. We're doing it right now. Written by, according to IMDb, four credited screenwriters, including Adam Rifkin, who wrote Mouse Hunt, came out the year before, and
No,
Ted Elliott, who wrote Shrek. So there's quite a big pedigree here. But there were also, according to Dante, a further 12 uncredited writers who pitched into scripting over the film's production. So it's a real team effort, this
I
one.
had Susan Spielberg was involved as well.
Yeah, as well. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Produced by DreamWorks, Universal Pictures, and Amblin Entertainment, with Hasbro being brought in to create a toy line that came out alongside the movie. More on that later too.
I read that it did better than the film.
More, yeah, I'm getting there. Yeah,
Hmm.
we just love it when we love a film so much. We always like bring.
Hmm.
We can't help it.
In case we think
Cinematography.
someone's forgotten something. No,
That's it.
don't forget the
Just
fun
want to get
facts.
it in there. Yeah. Cinematography by Jamie Anderson, who'd worked previously with Dante on his 1978 film Piranha. Other works include Flintstones in Viva Rock Vegas, another late 90s classic, when they replaced everybody with lesser famous actors than the first
Certainly a
movie.
film.
Yep, and Bad Santa in 2003. Now, the film's score was by the late Oscar-winning Jerry Goldsmith, who is well known on the show for both his work on the Star Trek franchise and
Mm.
Rambo. His war film work includes Patton, The Wind and the Lion, and Under Fire, and he'd even work some of those Star Trek and Patton scores into the movie. That the Patton score comes in where the scene where Chip Hazard rallies the commandos under the American flag, pastiching
A
that
great
classic
little,
scene.
yeah, lovely
It's
little
really,
homage.
really great. Maybe more in the alley tally about this, but the film's extensive model work for the Commando Elite and the Gorgonites was done by Stan Winston, who'd worked on the Terminator franchise, Jurassic Park, and Aliens, and Alien, who took time to work alongside Hasbro to find out exactly how the toys were made and how they might move if they were to gain sentience, how they would move not having any organic parts, and the limited points of articulation. And in the end, 1 ton of urethane was made to make the puppets. And there was
Wow.
nearly 130 puppets made in all. Um, so the CGI shots were provided by Industrial Light and Magic, who at the time of filming said this was the largest amount of CGI shots in a film that they'd worked on to date in '98. And
Wow.
Dante later remarked that 1/3 of the film is puppetry, but the rest is CGI. And there's a great behind the scenes doc on YouTube where you can see just how the puppets are moving, and there's one on Alan's desk and Archer's looking around. So the actor said it was really nice to be able to actually interact with the dolls. So then when you have to react to something that's not there yet because it's not been put in by CG, or it's just a little, like a ball or on a stick, it really helped them
Alan,
visualize it.
keep having Carter.
Alan, help me, Alan. Shot on a budget of 40 million, earning 71.8 million. However, the film was said to have recouped, as Matt said earlier, a lot more than its budget through the toy line and the video games and sponsor tie-ins, with one studio rep remarking that they made more on the budget on the toys alone, irregardless of any of the sponsorships. And I remember quite rightly that there being a shed ton of toys on
I never
this.
had one, but I did cover them.
I had the whole gang. I had the whole
Oh,
gang. But I got really lucky because I was chatting to my mum when I went down to see my mum. Listeners will know she was ill a few weeks ago. I told her about the Small Soldiers ep, and she said, "Oh my gosh, you had lots of those toys. I remember." So we were chatting about it, and she
mm.
told me I got really lucky in a local charity shop, and I got a big bag of everyone for about a fiver. I just got really lucky. And I love those toys. They were absolutely fantastic. Anyway, so it's time for this week's retro review, which comes from Empire magazine from 2000 from Caroline Westbrook, which is around the time of the film's VHS and DVD release in the UK. Now, she said, Small Soldiers aspires to be rather more than it actually is. The blend of dark comedy, child-friendly action, and CG effects performed disappointingly in the States. For trying to cover all the bases, Small Soldiers falls awkwardly between the two main categories, too frightening for younger kids, too childish for adults. Nevertheless, there is still much to enjoy. It may be another blockbuster over-reliant on its special effects, but thanks to its excellent visuals and semblance of a story, Small Soldiers works considerably better than some. 3 stars.
It's hilarious because if you go on IMDb and read the lowest rated user reviews, which is always fun,
Hmm.
there's quite a few people that really just do not get this film at all. They're like,
I
I
have no
just
idea
don't get
how.
it. And it's like, how can
Yeah.
you not understand what they were aiming for with this?
It's
It's
really
just
there's so much there's a lot going on here that you might not think about when you first watch it. Rewatching it at the age of 32 was an absolute joy. But it's a nostalgic film for me. I think that review's a little
yeah.
unfair because she's saying that, oh, it's too over reliant on its visuals and its CGI. Oh, but the CGI and visuals are really great. I'm like,
Mm,
well, okay. And I think it was a
hedging the
50.
bets there, I think. I think
Yeah.
to be honest, I think it's interesting that they didn't kind of gel to it because it has all the hallmarks of a fun blockbuster summer
Mm,
movie.
mm. I think when it comes out, obviously it comes out 10 days before Saving Private Ryan.
But I'm like, is this? Oh, this was too much, but Jumanji was fine. Okay,
Yeah, 'cause I never got Jumanji. I never clicked with that. It didn't
like
do
I
anything
liked
for
it.
me.
I thought it was decent
Yeah,
enough, but yeah,
I think this movie's aged way better than some of those
I think
family
so.
movies from the
I haven't
'90s.
seen it since I think Sky Movies bought the rights to it in like the early 2000s
Ah,
and played the hell out of it.
I watched it when it was on Netflix
Yeah.
in the UK a few years ago. I don't know if it still is.
It's
Anyway,
not
on
on there at
to...
the moment. It's not
Oh,
actually
I
on any
know.
of the big
It's
streamers, I
not.
don't think.
Anyway, moving on to this week's one word review. And we got a few. Tony Cowards kicks us off with F the Gorgonites, because that's what I famously shouted last week at the end of the show. That still stands. Brian Williams says Survivors, as in the surviving members of the Dirty Dozen. Matt Moss goes Gorgonzolas. Phil Fimple. Paul Burns goes Ride On Mower. Scott McKenzie goes Small. Ian Mays goes Plasticky. And Pete the Paint also goes with Plastic. I think maybe our audience, maybe this is not the kind of film they may have seen. I don't know.
Maybe not, but I mean, our older listeners that perhaps I don't know, over 40 may have kids that have seen it and what they've watched it with the kids. People that are younger probably fall into our demographic of like the 30s will have seen it when it came out, I guess, as kids. So yeah, I think people may have seen it. I think it might be one of those films that people just discount as a kids' film, and I don't think it falls into that.
I think that's what it is. Yeah, we'll discuss this more in depth later on. But now it's time for the Alley Tally.
It's time for Alley Tally on Fighting on Film.
As you'll know, Fighting on Film and Warfare Media partnered up to give our listeners a huge discount on high-quality Cold War posters. But now there's more. Warfare Media also offers clothing and the chance to order OP4 DPM camouflage uniforms. Support the podcast and use the code FOF20 at checkout for 20% off your order. Don't delay. Visit warfaremedia.net today.
I'm going to kick off. I'm going to say that my favourite bit of alley from this film is the little RC armoured fighting vehicles they make.
They're so cool.
They're so
I've
good.
got them down as well. Yeah.
They're like the toaster launcher, the nail gun, the chainsaw, the flamethrower from like the leaf burner,
propane tank. Yeah.
The propane tanks. The way that they blow they introduce them by blowing the garage door and playing War. What is it good for? Over it is just sensational. Absolute cinema.
It's brilliant. I think that's a thinly veiled A-Team reference as well, because they would do that, wouldn't they?
Yeah, totally. In a garage. Yeah, totally.
But I love how that they're like Chip Hazard and the lad. He's like giving them their spiel, and he just takes the little plastic M16 knockoff and goes, "Standard issue is insufficient." It's just brilliant.
He has loads of really great lines. Loads around like having them prepare weapons and stuff. It's really cool when they all like link up as well, and they become like a bit of a transformer,
like a Power Rangers type robot. It's brilliant. Yeah, it's so good. Well, there's a reason for that, because if you bought all the little ones of them back in the day, they did link together for a bigger.
Well, it makes sense, doesn't it? It's a pro Hasbro move.
Yeah.
I really love that. That scene is one of my favorites, but it's not my favorite scene. But that's a really alley.
In terms of alley, it's great.
I really love the corkscrew detonator. You know, like the when he pushes the two arms of the corkscrew down to
There's
detonate.
So much thought in here in terms of clever. Like, well, what would a toy, if it gained sentience, what would it use things for? Like, there's a lot at play here that you don't realise. You know,
like little scissors taken apart and like strapped to the Gwendy girls and
brilliant.
Stuff. Just really clever.
They've taken like a steak knife and gaffed it around their arm. Yeah. But then there's a bit where, at the end, where Chip Hazard pulls his little knife out of his pocket. And I think that's just a plastic knife that he's sharpened somehow. Or like a little like dagger. I'm like, did he get shipped with that? Like, I've never worked it out. I'm like, that's wild if he did, you know.
Globotech don't care. Mm-hmm. And lastly, Alan's green cord jacket at the end. The very end of the film. I'd wear that. That was a beautiful jacket.
Love it. Yeah, more. I'll say that those AFVs they make are bloody brilliant.
Amazing.
I had the buzzsaw tank. If anyone can look that up online, it's like a little plastic, like a little buzzsaw, like a tank. It was really cool. I don't think it was in the movie, but it was like an amalgamation thing. Really fun. Mm-hmm. But it's the line he says when they look in the garage, and Tommy Lee goes, "If it launches, detonates, or lacerates, I want it mobile and lethal." It's just
so good.
Oh, it's just
chewing the foam of the recording booth when he was in there.
Really
I swear
great,
to God,
really great. I mean, I'll say the Commando Elite themselves are a great blend of that like pseudo Vietnam Desert Stormy, like American soldier cliche of the
Hmm.
90s. Like
G.I.
if you
Joe, Action Man,
Yeah, they're
just
like
classic.
political satire cartoons in a way, in the way they're
Mm.
made. They got the flak jackets, they're sort of like, Kevlar helmet. It's brilliant. And I also like how they all look like their counterparts. Like Chip Hazard looks like Tommy Lee a bit. They
Mm.
all kind of look a little bit like who they are. And even Archer looks a little bit like
Yeah,
Frank Langella. It's
it
really
does. It
weird.
does. It's weird, isn't it?
It's really odd. But I like that though, because you could have easily, like they did in Toy Story, where Woody and Buzz don't look like Tom Hanks and
No.
that. But I kind of like it's there for the older viewer, kind of like that.
Mm.
And then also, I mean, because it's the Italian, because we're defense journalists, we should really talk about the send up of the
Absolutely.
military-industrial complex.
So
It's
good.
brilliant here too. I mean, I think now people, the wider audience, knowing how defense companies operate, and usually, they have their hands in a lot of pies, and it wouldn't be out of the question today for someone like a Northrop Grumman or a Lockheed Martin to buy up a Hasbro or buy up a interest in making toys. I think that's really interesting. So maybe in the late 90s, that's not maybe as well known. Perhaps I don't know.
Yeah, I think the late 90s is or the 90s in general is when the whole idea of the military industrial complex becoming something that the wider public were aware of
Mm,
became a thing.
yeah,
It's really it is interesting because there's a couple of cool little nods to various aspects of it, especially at the end where Leary, playing Gil Mars, is just handing out checks,
it's
cashing like
brilliant.
checks to
Yeah,
everybody, to keep everything quiet, and that's
that's a
just
good gag that as well.
that's very
Where
good.
Joe's like, "Oh, my memory recall on my back hurts," and he just
Hmm.
whips a check. He goes, "Oh no, I'll move. I'm fine." Yep, it's brilliant. It's great. But there's another thing as well where this kind of has happened with a military industrial complex and military things in general getting involved with toys or entertainment. So in 2002, the US Army released a recruitment tool game called America's Army, and
Mm.
then the US Navy would do the same in '04, I think, with Full Spectrum Warrior. And later, the US Army ran a toy line that was made by Hasbro in the
Yeah,
US.
I was about to say there was an official DoD sanctioned U.S. Army like actual.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Air Force has probably licensed out stuff as
Oh, for
well. I'm sure
sure.
of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's way more prevalent than it is now, but I just think it's a great little microcosm of a sort of easily explainable, not so deep, but kind of is deep if you want to take it down that route
Mm.
way of doing it. And then later on, you have the Mars guy. He goes, "Oh well, don't worry about we've recalled them. Yeah, that's fine. But I know some South American rebels that are really going to enjoy these toys."
Yeah, yeah,
And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So that kind of reminded me a little bit like drone warfare. So there's a civilian thing we've got here. We can weaponize
yeah.
it.
Hmm.
It's like it's all come full circle. It's brilliant.
No, you're
Yeah.
absolutely right. It's as I said at the beginning, the film is oddly prescient. It really is.
Really, really is. Yeah. So before we slide in to favourite scenes this week, we have a one-off feature because this movie is jam-packed with them. It's time for Robbie's reference roundup.
Yes.
So, war films or lines directly quoted or rewritten and said by the Commando Elite include these aren't quotes, these are films that the quotes are from.
Hmm.
Sands of Iwo Jima, Patton, Of the Sooner a Gentleman, Apocalypse Now, Star Wars Episode 1, War of the... Not Episode 1, Star Wars A New Hope, sorry. War of the Worlds, All Quiet on the Western Front, and Doctor Strangelove. You have Brick Bazooka saying, All Quiet on the Western Front Yard. Chip Hazard goes, I love the smell of polyurethane in the morning when he's in his little helicopter. It's just
Yeah,
great. And they even play Ride of the Valkyries.
they do.
Like, it's brilliant. And there's even more. So we've got non-war films reference. You've got Titanic, Hello Dolly, Goodbye Mr. Chips, The Bride of Frankenstein, Ben-Hur. And me and Matt even
Hindenburg.
think Hindenburg as well.
Yeah, because
And
one of
me
the
and
Gwendy dolls, when she gets hit by the baton, like shouts, "Oh, humanity!"
oh, the humanity, yeah, and the Wilhelm screams in there too a couple of
It
times.
is.
And we think the dangling of Archer over the weave, the waste disposal, is a reference to Rolling Thunder that starred Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
hope that it is,
Hope,
but
hope so.
because I'm thinking Dante loves cinema. Dante works a lot of cinema references into his movies, and I'm thinking, yeah, I could see that. I could see that. So the war film that Fimple turns on his massive 90s TV setup is of course 1955's To Hell and Back, starring Audie Murphy. And then he goes, I think World War II is my favourite war, which is brilliant.
I've got that in my notes as well.
Yeah. And he goes, Audie Murphy, most decorated war hero. And he just munches a Dorito. It's brilliant. And then we have, and this people might not be well aware of this, is if you're not a big Dante fan like I am. There's a lot of Dante-isms in this. Now, he has a lot of sort of director calling cards. So he references Gremlins a lot. Gizmo being the passcode on the computer when they do the chips. There's a Gremlin skull on Alan's desk. And there's even a Gizmo toy in the trash where Alan finds the Gorgonites. Obviously, we mentioned Dick Miller has appeared in every TV and film work made by Dante before his passing. And then we have Rance Howard, dad of Ron Howard, and Belinda Balsacchi, who appeared as a cameo with a couple in bed who look at each other and go Fimple when the Spice Girls are playing. Now, Balsacchi was the lead in Piranha and the mum in Gremlins. And Howard pops up in loads of Dante works as well. So there's and I obviously haven't seen this for years. And when it cut to them, I was like, that's a Dante. That's a Dante reference. There's a reason that they're in there. So I work backwards. But there is a hell of a lot more. There's so many more lines. It's just packed jam. If you're a film fan, oddly, this movie is a little ode to cinema in its own way.
It really is, down to the bits where it's one of my favorite scenes. But when they're reanimating the Gwendy dolls,
it's one of my favorite scenes too.
There's loads of little pop culture and cinema references. Like one of them, it shouts, "It's alive! It's alive!"
Yeah,
there's all the sound effects in the background. Some of them are the laser sounds from the War of the Worlds, 1953.
Yeah.
That he used. There's loads of really great things.
So then, Matt, we'll let you talk about that scene now in favourite scenes.
Hi, my name's Alex Brockdorf. I play Mikey in Warfare. You're listening to Fighting on Film.
It was hard to pick one, but that is one of the Gwendy doll animation sequences.
I've got it down too. It's
great. It's really good. You got Sarah Michelle Gellar and Christina Ricci, both providing some really amazing lines. Like, "Run, she's got a baton."
Yeah.
Oh, the humanity. And then you got Chip leans in at one point to Kirsten Dunst and is like, "You'd have to be crazy not to be scared." And it's just such a...
Yeah, he goes, "Are you scared? We're all scared. You'd have to be crazy not to be scared." And as you're going to say, like, it's such a great... I can imagine him saying that to, like, Steven Seagal in Under Siege, or, like... because it's Tommy Lee, it's this level of like madness to it. It just works so well.
But I think my favorite sequence is the Chip Hazard on a helicopter sequence.
Oh, you like that bit? Okay.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. I love the smell of polyurethane in the morning. The Fly the Valkyries is playing. He's firing nails at Alan as he's running.
Got little
around,
rockets as well.
Little rockets and stuff. And then the Gorgonites nail him with the anti-air nail gun, which is great.
It's brilliant. Yeah.
One of them lifts up one of the Commando Elite RCs that they've captured at the end and knocks out the helicopter. It's great. It's just the CG on it stands up so well. The only way that you know it's CG is that it does this thing where the Intel 3 that was rendering all this must have been absolutely screaming, because there's certain bits where it slows down and you can see it's like it goes into like a bit, just the frame rate slows a little bit,
and they're a bit glossy, aren't they?
Yeah.
There's something about
and you're like, oh yeah, we're on the bleeding edge right here.
God, cutting edge of 98. Yeah. Well, then I've got that too. That Gwendy sequence is just great. So they realise that they need more troops, and they utilise Christie's Gwendy dolls, which is like sort of a stand-in for Barbie, or sort of that kind of thing. Yeah. And they use Nick Nitro's chip to like sort of retrofit it so it can affect all these sort of Gwendy dolls, and it turns them into what I've got down as. It's very hard to describe them because it's a kids' movie, but Tank Girl style bikini clad war dolls. Like it's
They've all got like Duck Hunter bra and bikini sets on.
I always thought so. One of the poor Commando Elites was given some like model paints and had to paint all those on really quickly. Because they wouldn't have come with that. It's just great, but it's so creepy and well done. When I was a kid, that scene I could watch it, but it used to creep me out because they
Oh
all
yeah,
get like their faces melt a little bit
the
because of the
lighting and
electric and the lighting.
the is it the vanograph like stuff going
Yeah,
on and
there's
all
something in
that.
them
And,
being like spindly as well. Like it's really good. It's really great.
mm,
And it's like it's funny yet creepy in how they move, how they're talking, like they're really cool quipping. And then when the boyfriend comes in and he's helping bat some away off Christie, he's getting like sort of glomped on by them.
hmm
Chip and I think it's Chip and the sniper guy, and he goes, "A gentleman does not strike a lady," and it's a line from an officer and a gentleman when they're it's
Yeah,
just brilliant. It's so good. And then yeah, that final battle is just it's just something else.
they treat us to a last stand. It's great.
It's a Last Stand film. It really
Yeah.
is. Yeah, yeah, we worked that in. But you get the Spice Girls psychological warfare. It's just, and they
The
go
Noriega line
the
just is
Noriega
amazing.
line. This is brilliant. Yeah, really great. As you say, Chip's helicopter. I love the bit where the mum's doing the backhand with the tennis
Hmm
balls, and the wife goes, "Nice forehand, honey." It's just so funny. It's great. And then you've got Phil Fimble going like Gorgonzolas and all that, and like they're sort of not
Mm.
taking it
Kirsten
seriously. And then
Dunst on the ride on lawnmower
yeah, and then oh
going
yeah,
ham. It's
there's
just
just
really
so
good. Just
much.
really
It's
good.
brilliant. Yeah, it's just such a great movie. So I think we're into final thoughts, and I think there's no guesses for what we might think about this one.
No, it's just one of those classics, I think. And it's weird because we're doing this in December like it's a Christmas film, but it isn't. It's not a Christmas movie. It was
Because me
released in
and Matt for
July.
years had it penned down
July
as a Christmas
98.
movie.
We did. And for some reason, I always box it into that area. And I don't know why, but it just feels like it should have been a Christmas movie. It feels like that, they should have just slotted a Christmas tree in the background.
Yeah,
The reason that Kirsten Dunst takes her brother to the toy shop should have been
it's because it's
they were looking
Christmas.
for a Christmas
Yeah,
gift. I think that
yeah,
just would have worked really, really well. And I think it would have tapped into those Home Alone vibes
yeah.
and really given it just like a little bit something extra on top of how good it already is. I
Mm.
mean, it wouldn't even have had to do anything excessive, but
It's
it's
weird.
set in
Yeah.
this like middle America. I think it's supposed to be set in Ohio, and it's just quintessential middle America in the fall autumny type period. I think it
Yeah,
is.
I think that's why it always felt kind of like Christmassy to
Yeah,
me as a
and
kid because they've all got jackets on and stuff like
yeah,
that.
and
Yeah,
it's just outside the realms of a Christmas film. And I think it's just really interesting that you could have done that and you could have dropped it in, say, Thanksgiving, the period between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and it may have been a bigger hit, but it did well. I suppose the toy sales at Christmas, that year did
mm.
really well, as you've already said. So interesting nonetheless. It's just it is funny to me that some people just still do not get
They don't click with it.
kind of like
Yeah,
Starship Troopers. People don't understand what it's trying to
no.
be.
For me, I've got this for Small Soldiers at least. I've got it down as I think it. Obviously, for you and me, we were sub 10 years
Mm,
old, so we are
yeah,
the
yeah.
target
With the audience,
audience.
yeah.
And you and me also like army things when we were younger,
hmm
so
hmm
that helps too. Commando Elite, yes, yes, let's go, love them. Um,
Yeah.
but like, I think it falls down to how old you were, and if you just like watching family movies anyway, like because this is a sort of everyone kind of movie, but then it's also kind of not. And I
Mm.
think if you want to give it another chance, I think there's a lot more at play here than a family movie, a late 90s family movie deserves.
Totally, a lot you can pull out of this.
Mm,
It's so well paced. It's a 2 hour movie that you said it best. It's a 2 hour movie that feels like a tight 75. It's like it's wild or tight 90. It's just I paused it to get some lunch when I was doing my rewatch yesterday, and I was like, wow, I'm literally halfway through the film,
yeah.
and it did not feel like it. It's great model work, really impressive effects. CGI holds up really well. Tommy Lee's loving the role, chewing the scenes. The cast is
He,
incredible.
yeah.
Huge 90s vibes. But I do feel like it's a film from a bygone era. I don't think this would get made now. I don't think
No, it
anything
wouldn't.
like this really gets made
No.
now.
There was a scheduled remake called Toy Town or something, or by Disney. Then when they bought a load of other IPs, they crushed this, and then it later came out that it was a remake of Small Soldiers, but not a sequel.
It would have been awful.
But there's been rumors.
It would have just been a nostalgia-driven piece, and that very rarely works.
This needs to be a much darker remake if it is.
Oh yeah.
Or a sequel needs to be a lot darker, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's not just a kids movie. It has those elements, and it would work as something a little darker. I didn't mention it in favorite scenes, but the Picardo sequence where they meet the chip designer is incredible. And again, that prescience of AI. This is a film from 1998, and he's developed a chip that is AI, and it's having repercussions. So the film is so current.
It really is. It's aged super well.
So many years on, but yeah.
Cast is great on this one. The writing is so sharp still. It still makes me laugh even now. And I'm not laughing because I'm like, that was funny when I was like 8. No, this is funny lines. Like, you can appreciate this now. As Matt said, the pacing. It's a great nostalgia trip for people like me and Matt, and it holds up on a rewatch. But on another level, it's such a great all-rounded family film. Like, when Ernie hit 6 or 7, I feel like I could put that on and he could enjoy it, my son.
Oh, yeah.
We could enjoy this together. But it's also this weird ode to war films and action films of the 90s and sort of like pop culture cinema at the time. And I think this only works because you've given it to someone like Joe Dante. Even though it's a clear studio movie, it's not something that Dante's sort of written and wanted to make. He's been hired by a studio to make this movie, but obviously they know what they're getting. You know, he did Gremlins, Matinee. Matinee is an absolutely amazing ode to 50s B movies. If anyone loves those kind of like monster effect films with a little bit of Cold War tension in there, Matinee is fabulous. Really great performance from John Goodman in that one. Just love Dante. If you like Gremlins and you haven't seen Small Soldiers, whack it on over Christmas. It's just so great. It holds up amazingly well. It's a really, really great movie in many, many respects. But the one bugbear that I have is that them fucking Gorgonites win. They had no right to win. They didn't want to fight until the very, very end when half the human cast had done their fucking job for them. Bunch of cowards. And the best thing about it is, a few years ago at a convention, someone asked Joe Dante, did the Gorgonites make it to Gorgon on the boat? He said, no, because they're toys. Because Gorgon is never real and it never was. They probably sank. So fuck them Gorgonites. Chip hazard forever.
I mean, I appreciate your passion for the anti-Gorgonite cause, but
you wouldn't have bought one.
I have a more neutral stance.
Amazing voice crack there. But you wouldn't. You wouldn't have bought a Gorgonite. No one would have bought a Gorgonite. Who'd buy a Gorgonite? Not me.
No, it's true. It's true. I don't know what David Cross's character was thinking.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I really went hard there. What were you going to say?
Nothing. I was just going to say that I'm a little bit more neutral.
You're a new. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm a neutral observer on the Gorgonite Commando Elite conflict. Yeah.
You've got to take a side in the Gorgonite wars, mate. Which, interestingly enough, if you want more of Small Soldiers and the lore behind the toys, it's covered in the PS1 game, which is set on Gorgon.
There's a book,
yeah,
which is written from the perspective of Gil Mars's journal. Yeah.
That's brilliant. Yeah, and there's actually a really, really good RTS game that was called. I think it's like Small Soldiers Squad Assault or something. And it's really bloody good. It was on DOS. I didn't play it at the time, but I've been playing it on an emulator the last couple of days. It's fun. It's really fun. Small Soldiers, 10-10, a rare 10-10 on the show. We don't number them, but it is.
We don't rate them normally, but
we don't rate them, but it is. It's great. If you like Tommy Lee Jones in any capacity, give it a watch. If any of that cast interests you at all, whack it on over Christmas.
If you like war movies, there's really no excuse for you not to watch it. I mean, it's a great movie.
In a year that gave us Saving Private Ryan, Thin Red Line, we got this. Perfect. Should be up there. The trifecta. The 98
Agreed.
trifecta.
Agreed.
Right. So, on to this week's last large question of the year, which
Wow.
is your
We
favourite...
have recorded this year, before we move on, we have recorded, everyone, I think 49, this is probably the 50th episode.
Well, it's more than that, because we've done some FOF exclusives, didn't we?
I'm including some of the FOF exclusives in there, but I suppose it's probably like 45 main episodes this year. So yeah, we've put the time in, we've done the stacks.
Knocked them out of the park this year. We really have.
Hopefully everyone enjoyed them.
I hope so. People seem to be still enjoying it. I do as well. The last large question of the year is, we wanted to know what war film you watched the most over the Xmas period, or what you enjoy to watch. Brian Williams goes, Where Eagles Dare. Kevin gets, of course, It's a Bridge Too Far. Paul Burns said Casablanca for black and white era, and classic Where Eagles Dare for action.
Absolutely.
Tom McCall said, Set over Christmas. Tick. Comes down from the sky via parachute. Tick. Brings treats to those who've been good. President Lynn Barney. Tick. Punishes those who are bad. Sir Edward Matteson. Basically, I'm saying The Wild Geese is a Christmas film, and Richard Burton is Father Christmas.
It is a Christmas film.
Ho, ho, ho,
how is it
everybody.
not? No one could have believed in the year 2025 The Wild Geese would be appreciated as a Christmas film.
So many men died so you could celebrate Christmas, Emile. Let me tell you about how cool I was when I was on the mission. Mosquito 1940 says, started a new tradition in my house on Christmas Eve. A Lego set, a whiskey, and The Shepherd on Disney Plus. Then we'll watch any war movie that's on TV, provided my kids let me. That sounds lovely. Mosquito 1940. Yeah, in your tiny little mosquito house. Oh no, he means the plane. I thought it's like little family mosquitoes. That's still quite cute. That's quite Christmassy anyway. Dr. Grant Howard said, I've started watching Behind Enemy Lines pretty regularly. It was a Christmas mission. That's Christmas next year. We'll do that one. Pete the Paint, Predator. It's a nostalgia thing going back to Xmas 88.
Okay.
Lovely. Ian Mays says, need to do this. It's replaced Die Hard for me. Violent Night, the Dave Harbour Santa kills all the mean robbers one. Yeah. I went to the cinema to see that. And quick review for Robbie. One of those movies that I felt I just needed to see once.
Yeah. There's the Mel Gibson Goggins movie as well, where Mel Gibson's Santa and Goggins is sent to kill him.
Oh, I've not seen that one. Ooh.
Yeah, that's out there. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Came out like in 2015. Maybe a bit
I'll check
later.
That out. Couple more for Where Eagles Dare from Brian Robson and Darren Skerritt. And then S. Madison goes, The Great Escape every Boxing Day without fail. Used to be on TV every year growing up. Lumpy KG rounds us out. He says, I feel like Zulu or The Great Escape used to be on every Christmas when I was a kid. Matt,
Yep.
What one are you going to watch this Christmas period?
It's Where Eagles Dare. Where Eagles Dare.
Lovely. Yeah, lovely.
It's just quintessential. And I completely agree with Zulu and Great Escape being Boxing Day movies. They were just on TV. For at least 3 decades, that was the quintessential. Oh, it must be Boxing Day because it's on.
See, Zulu's been promoted in my life to a Christmas Day film.
I'm not opposed to that. I can get behind that.
It's either going to be that. Theirs is the glory for nostalgia reasons for the show. Where Eagles Dare again, a classic, and then maybe something like it might even be something like Sink the Bismarck, because I'm with my mum this year and she's been gunning to watch that movie for weeks. So we shall see. But I'll be watching a couple. I think I'm going to use this. I think I'm going to use this Christmas period to catch up on all those non-war films that I haven't been able to sort of sit down and enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny you should say that. I'm pushing in my mind towards considering Lethal Weapon the new Die Hard in terms of Christmas films. So if you watch Lethal Weapon 1, it is a Christmas movie, and it will be our December War Movie Adjacent exclusive Patreon. It
will be
episode.
We're recording that before Santa comes. Don't worry about that.
So definitely
down the chimney. I should add.
Of course. Definitely head over
No,
to
Santa,
the.
stay back. I've been good, I promise.
Got some coal for you. That's thrown me completely. Oh yeah, head over to the Fighting on Film Patreon if you're interested in the war movie adjacent series.
Yes, please do. Yeah, and there
but
might
yes.
even be a little war movie adjacent gift for everybody in the regular pod stream. We're going to have to count the FOF good list and the FOF bad list and see what happens. Yeah,
I tell you
War
what,
movie Santa might
everyone
come.
better be sure to leave a positive 5-star review to make
Under
sure
the
that they're on
tree.
that.
Yeah.
On that good list.
Please do. Please do, yes. And another big thank you for listening this year on Fighting on Film. We've had our 5th anniversary. We've been to another festival. We've seen loads of great war films and talked about them all with you. We hope you enjoyed the show. And a huge, huge Merry Christmas from me and Matt and everyone who is affiliated with FOF.
Absolutely. Happy Christmas, everyone, or happy holidays. Really do appreciate you listening and keeping us chipping away at the war movie genre as we are. Can't wait to do more in 2026.
Oh, we can't wait. We can't wait. And yeah, and if you get any war movie related presents, please whack them up on the FOF pages on the socials. We'd love to see them. And yeah, so we'll be off for Christmas for a couple of weeks. We'll be back in early January. We've been the podcast. You've been the listeners. We'll catch you in 2026 for more Fighting on Film. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Fuck them Gorgonites!